Oh, hey, welcome back, and thanks for tuning into my channel. Also, happy 4th of July. Now, I know a lot of places are still on quarantine or on lockdown or can't go out to the beach or social gathering because of COVID-19. So what movie should you watch for 4th of July? Well, my personal favorite to watch is Jaws. Because Jaws takes place during the 4th of July in the film. Also, this is the 45th anniversary edition on 4K, which is extremely nice. If you're going to watch it, I would suggest getting this. You can get it at Walmart. The picture is amazing. The sound quality is great. And it comes with this little booklet that pretty much you can just not even watch this review if you want to for facts, and everything is in this little booklet. It talks about the actors and little facts about them, the inspiration for the book, how they how they just racked their brains over a title for the book for months and months. They talked about calling it Jaws of the Leviathan, Silence in the Water, Great White, Silence in the Water. And then all of a sudden they just talked to one of the guys that for the Dallas Cowboys that does their merchandising, and they're like, just call it Jaws. And they're like, why? And they're like, well, because it's simple and it can fit on a jersey or a jacket. And they're like, oh, okay, we're going to call it Jaws then. And that's how they decided for the title. But this little booklet is simply amazing. You know, it even has the schematics on how they built the shark. Just really, really, really cool. I love this little booklet. It's so neat. It doesn't have everything, but it talks about the script, the shark, even has a little storyboard of one of the scenes. It's really neat. But anyways, Jaws came out in 1975. Man, that's such a long time ago. Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider. I always think I said his name wrong. But yeah, actually, Steven Spielberg originally was going to have Charlton Heston casted as Officer Brody, but he decided not to do that because in every film that he's been in, he's the hero and he always succeeds. And you know damn well if you put the usual hero in a movie against a shark, you know that hero's going to win. That's kind of like, in The Meg, you had Jason Statham. You know damn well Jason Statham wasn't going to die. I mean, come on. That's like having The Rock always. The Rock's not going to die. The only movie that surprised me when The Rock died and he wasn't the hero was Doom, which is props to that for that. Anyways, we're focusing on Jaws. Once again, if you're staying inside, watch this movie. If you hadn't seen this movie, I'm going to just do a little rehash of a few little scenes, talk about it, and give some facts on the scenes. So let's go for this wild ride that made everyone afraid to go in the water. Officer Brody had just moved to Amity, Maine with his wife Lorraine and his boys Michael and Sean. They had moved there from the big city of New York so that Brody could have a peaceful working job as a sheriff in a small town where there is no danger whatsoever. But Officer Brody's summer is not going to be as easy and peaceful as he may have thought, for as a body washes up on shore, he and fellow authorities chalk it up as a shark attack. Okay, so some facts. Amity Island is fictional. It's not real. It's a place made up for the book and for the movie. Amity, Maine is real, but they're not in Amity, Maine. They're in Amity Island, Maine. But it's actually Martha's Vineyard, where most of the filming took place, especially all the water sequences, because they were only in 35 to 40 feet of water the entire time. Even the very end of the movie, the last hour, when they're supposedly isolated in the middle of the ocean and the shark is attacking them, they're actually 100 feet off of shore, which was actually one of Steven Spielberg's big worries, is because he was afraid that something offshore would make noise or the camera would catch a glimpse of something off of on the shore, and he wanted to make sure that the audience felt just as isolated as the actors were seeming as they were, which fooled me. When I found that out, I was like, no way, dude. That's crazy. Because it made it easier for the mechanical shark to go across the ground, because this dude literally just sank to the bottom of Martha's Vineyard the first time they put it in the water, and they had to get divers to go and get it. But also, the scene where you see the lady's hand, the prosthetics for it, Steven Spielberg didn't like it because he said it looked way too fake. So last minute, they took one of the crew, the ladies from the crew, buried her in sand, put the jewelry on her fingers, and just had it, because all you see is the arm, right? And you could tell that it's a real arm and it's someone's arm because she twitches a little bit. So I didn't realize that until I also found that out too, which is really wicked. You could say, he's like, no, I don't like this prosthetic hand. Here, you, come here. We're going to bury your butt in sand and you're going to be the dead thing. It worked. It was very convincing, extremely convincing, probably because it was actually real. But yeah, so let's see what else happens with Officer Brody and his big problem that he has on his hands. In a panic, Officer Brody prepares to shut down the beach. But the mayor convinces him that he cannot shut down the beach because the town relies too much on summer money and they cannot afford to not have tourists here for the 4th of July.
You yelled shark. We've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Okay, so here's some facts. Now, the movie Jaws outdoes the book in every way. And the reason it outdoes the book, which is very, very rare, is because in this scene that I just showed you, the mayor is convincing him that, don't close down the beaches because the town needs the summer money to run on because, that's the only time. It's a beach town. And during the wintertime, up north, when it snows, not much tourism, no money. But actually, in the book, it's kind of the same thing, but not really. You find out in the book that the mayor is actually being blackmailed by the mafia to keep the beaches open because they have invested tons of money in the real estate there and they're trying to close on multi-million-dollar deals. Now, I guess that's cool concept, but it would totally take away from the main bad guy, which is the shark. You know what I mean? Like, no one gives a damn. I mean, I'm pretty sure if that was the original and like inside the movie, everybody would accept it. But if you think about just the mayor being greedy because he doesn't want the town to he needs the money for the town, or the town needs money, compared to the mayor being blackmailed, it's just not the same. I like this better because it's just a greedy mayor and he just can't shut down the beach compared to a mayor being blackmailed because of the mafia. But in the book's defense, this was in the 70s. The mafia was extremely big in the North, in Ohio, New York, all of New England, Ohio, or the mafia was extremely big. But, I'm glad they didn't include that in the movie because I like it the way that it is. And it's a masterpiece. It really is. So let's see what Brody does now since he decides to not shut down the beach. That same day, Officer Brody witnesses a shark attack firsthand on the beach. In desperation, he reaches out to the Oceanographic Institute, where he meets Matt Hooper, their leading shark expert. After the attack, an article is put out through all of New England, promising a reward to anyone who would capture and kill the shark. Everyone celebrates as a shark is captured and killed, one that is very rare for that water. But Matt Hooper is not convinced that it's the shark, and convinces Brody the same, that the real shark is still out there. Okay, so some facts about the shark scene. So, yes, that is an actual tiger shark. A real, dead tiger shark. They bought a carcass from Florida, had it shipped up there, kept it on ice, but by the time they had used it for the movie, it had already rotted on the inside. So, according to the actors and everybody on the set, it was very, very gross that day because it was hot, and just the smell was bad, and it was a very uncomfortable scene. You can kind of tell some of the actors were squinting their eyes and they just seemed disgusted. And especially that opening part when he gets that hook in the nose and he opens the jaw and it just squishes and bleh. Yeah, you can definitely tell something was wrong with that shark. It definitely was not fresh. Would not recommend eating that. But let's see what Brody's going to do now since the shark's still out there. Upon further investigation of Officer Brody and Matt Hooper, they find out what is really terrorizing the waters and try to convince the mayor to shut down the beaches for good. But once again, the mayor is not convinced. Out of options, Officer Brody and Matt Hooper go to Quint, the local shark hunter, and convince him to help. Of course, he only helps with accepting payment, and in doing so and offering payment, the three of them gather onto the Orca and set out to sea to take care of this great white menace. Okay, so if you've seen the movie, you know how it plays out, and you know how it ends. So please, drop in the comments what you like about Jaws, what you don't like about Jaws, if anything, and your favorite scene. If you haven't seen it, what's wrong with you? Go watch it right now, and then come back and tell me what you like about it, didn't like about it, and your favorite scene. There's no reason why you should never have seen Jaws. I don't care if you're 6 years old, I don't care if you're 70 years old, or 100 years old. Everyone should have seen this movie. That's like not seeing Jurassic Park, or Indiana Jones, or Star Wars, or anything like that. Any of these big major films, it's literally an important film in filming history. It set the record. It started the whole summer blockbuster thing. It set the first record. At that time, it made the most money out of any movie. With a $7 million budget, it made $65 million its opening weekend, and it made $471 million worldwide. That's a lot of money, extremely profitable. It skyrocketed Steven Spielberg's career. For his first big movie coming off of TV, he thought he failed because he was given a $7 million budget, and he actually ended up asking for more money because, the first shark broke, and, just time. They went 104 days past the time that they were supposed to be done filming, and they ended up spending $12 million, so he thought he failed, but it skyrocketed his career, and he gave us Indiana Jones and E.T. and Close Encounters of the Third Kind, whole bunch of great stuff. He's a genius. He was only 28 years old at the time when he made this, so that's extremely young to skyrocket your career. Nowadays, new directors that you don't ever really hear of, don't really start their career or like get a big hit until they're into their 30s or farther, because once they come out of school, they just get right into TV, do rated B movies, or like they co-direct or they co-produce or whatever. But I'm giving Jaws a 10 out of 10. It's perfect in every way. Yes, since it's 45 years old, you'll notice some like cosmetic flaws maybe. Obviously, the shark looks extremely fake compared to shark movies now, but at that time, it looked really freaking real to me, and I still jump at it. It's still somewhat convincing, especially if you can delve into the movie. This movie, as a child, for me, and for a lot of people, definitely made me afraid to go in the water. Even like a pool, which I know there's not no freaking sharks in a pool, but still, even now, I will not wade in the water in an ocean. I have to keep on going. I have to keep on moving. If I wade in the water, I get paranoid. And it's because of this movie, Jaws. It's perfect in every way. It's a great thriller. It's only rated PG-13, or PG. It's just PG, so it's for the whole family. Yeah, I actually just got done watching it today with my 2-year-old. And whenever the shark would come, she'd be like, no, because she's scared. Yeah, but, this is the perfect movie to watch for the 4th of July, because like I said, it takes place on the 4th of July, and it's just really good, and it's fun for the whole family. So, please, if you stuck with me through this whole thing, give the video a like, share amongst your friends, especially since it's 4th of July, and if you haven't subscribed, please do. Thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.